whole world. And then he distributed only intimate families, because Krishna's family, Jadu dynasty, and this Maharaj Yudhishthir's family, Kuru dynasty, they were related in so many ways by marriage. Maharaj Yudhishthir's mother, Kunti, belonged to the Jadu dynasty, means Krishna's aunt, Krishna's father's sister. Similarly, Arjun's wife, Subhadra, here is Subhadra, she became the wife of Arjun, sister of Krishna. So there are so many family relationships, Krishna's family and the Kuru family. Krishna was not present, therefore Maharaj Yudhishthira was taking care of the children, grandson. As his grandson was posted as emperor, similarly Krishna's grandson was also situated as the king of Surasena, in which province the Mathura is there, Mathura now. So, you can read the part.
Maharaj Yudhisthira, after placing Maharaj Parikshit on the imperial throne of Hastinapur, and after posting Vajra, the grandson of Lord Krishna, as the king of Mathura, accepted the renounced order of life.
Yes, this was the system that one must retire. Just like at the present moment, although people are asking the president, you retire, you resign, he is not resigning, obstinate. Because he knows this is the first and last chance. I'm not going to be elected again. So stick to the post and take as much money as possible. That's all. But formally, they voluntarily retired, the king. In India also we have seen so many big politicians, they could not give up their political job. Even Gandhi, I wrote a personal letter to Gandhi that Mahatma Gandhi, you are recognized all over the world as a very pious man, and you are supposed to be very devotee of Bhagavad Gita. Now you have got your independence, you fought for independence, now you have got independence, so I request you to take the teachings of Bhagavad Gita to preach all over the world. That was my request, because I was thinking of preaching this Bhagavad Gita. So I thought the Gandhi's position is better if he takes up this job, preaching of Bhagavad Gita. Many people will give attention. Just Achariti Shrestha. He is a recognized good man, so people will follow. But he did not do so. He stuck up to the politics. And unless he was killed by another opponent party, he did not give it up. Similarly, I have seen other politicians also, Jawaharlal Nehru, Pant, they would not give up. Pant was so weak, I have seen. He could not stand even. He was doing like this, always. Still he would not give up. Similarly, Jawaharlal Nehru, he was paralyzed. Unless he was dead, he could not give up. This is not Vedic civilization. Vedic civilization is that at a certain age you must retire. Never mind. The age is divided into 4 parts. Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyas. Brahman, Kshatri, Vaishya, Shudra. So Vedic civilization means Varnashram Dharma, accepting the institution of 4 Varnas and 4 ashram. Social and spiritual order. For social order, there must be Brahman, Kshatri, Vaishya, Shudra, and for spiritual order, there must be Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyas. This is the system. So, unless you accept this institution of Varnashram Dharma, you are not considered as civilized man. Arya, Aryan. Aryan means who are making progress under the institution of Varnashram Dharma. That progress means to approach the Supreme Personality of God. That is the goal. But people do not know that. Not only now, formally also. Nati vidu sartha gating hi Vishnu. They do not know what is their ultimate goal of self-interest. Why Maharaj Yudhishthira is retiring from the... So that is not, to become king is not the ultimate goal of life. No. He has got another ultimate goal of life. He remained as a king as a matter of duty. Just like you work in some office or as a professional man, you work as a lawyer, you work as an engineer, you work as a medical man, and that you can do because you have to do something to live, livelihood. It doesn't matter. But to become an engineer or to become a scientist or become a medical man or a lawyer, that is not my ultimate goal of life. That is needed to maintain the body and soul together. But that is not ultimate goal of life. Ultimate goal of life is to realize God. That is ultimate. For that purpose, you may be what you are, but you must retire. At the present moment, people retire by force or by somewhere, but they do not know what is the ultimate goal of life. There are many retired men's house in your country, but they do not know what is the ultimate goal of life. Ultimate goal of life is to understand the Supreme Personality of God. Because in your busy life, you have got very little time. Therefore, after Grihastha life, 50 years after, not that, more than that, Panchasodham Panam Bhaja, then you must retire. It doesn't matter whether you have finished your duty or not. It doesn't matter. You must retire. And then, after being trained for some time, being retired from the family life, living secluded life, not exactly secluded, but detached from family life. Let the elderly sons, daughters, they can take care of the family, and the husband, wife, they travel to different places of pilgrimage. Again, they come for some time, but without any attachment, as guest in the house of his son. In this way, when he's trained up, then he says to the wife, now you live with your sons, they will take care of you, I am taking sannyas. So everyone has to take sannyas. It is not that a particular man, simply Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has to take sannyas. No. That is obligation. You must. In Buddha philosophy, everyone has to take sannyas and live as a sannyasi for some years. That is their duty. So, Maharaj Yudhishthira prepared himself for becoming sannyasi. Sannyasi means renounce. No more family responsibility or any responsibility. Simply to become a pure devotee of the Lord. That is sannyas. Anashrita karma phalam karjam karma karoti ja sa sannyasi. What is the sannyasi definition? Sannyasi means he works, but not as the enjoyer of the fruit of the work. That is sannyasi. Everyone, Kurmi means he is working hard day and night, but he wants the fruit of the work to enjoy himself. That is Kurmi. Sannyasi also will work hard day and night, but he will not take the fruit. It is for Krishna. That is sannyasi. Sannyasi means sat, nasi. Nasi means renounce. And sat means the supreme truth. One who renounces everything for the sake of supreme truth is called sannyasi. That sannyasi, formality is to change the dress, but anyone, just like this Maharaj Yudhishthira, Arjuna and his brothers, they are all sannyasis. But still formality. They accepted sannyas, give up the attachment for the house, and this way, because he is king, if he does not set example, then others will not accept sannyas. But
The system of 4 orders of life and 4 castes in terms of quality and work, known as the Varnashrama Dharma, is the beginning of real human life, and Maharaj Yudhishthira, as the protector of this system of human activities, timely retired from the active life as a sannyasi, handing over the charge of the administration to a trained prince, Maharaj Parikshit. The scientific system of Varnashrama Dharma divides the human life in 4 divisions of occupation and 4 orders of life. The 4 orders of life, as brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasa, are to be followed by all, irrespective of the occupational division. Modern politicians do not wish to retire from active life, even if they are old enough, but Yudhishthira Maharaj, as an ideal king, voluntarily retired from active administrative life.
we have referred to the politicians because king means he is also politician. As soon as we speak of king, he is in politics. So these are the examples. Although he was also a great politician, he had to fight in the battle of Kurukshetra. He had to adopt diplomacy, everything. But not that he would forget his real duty. This is perfect civilization. That one should not forget the real duty. The real duty is to fulfill the mission of the human life. The mission of human life is to understand God. And God is there. You cannot deny God is there. But we do not know what is God, what is our relationship with Him, that we do not. Just like in your country, the currency notes are advertised. In God we trust. But if we ask anybody, this is the slogan of your state, what do you know about God? Nobody can reply. They say it is something like this, something like that, but no, everything vague idea. Nobody knows what is God. Neither he knows how to trust in God. That is instructed in the Bhagavad Gita. What is God and how to trust Him. This is the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita. But the people do not know. They simply have the slogan, in God we trust. Nobody knows what is God. But we are trying to give the contribution. What is God? Not only God, His form, His name, His address, everything we are giving. Here is the form of God, Krishna. If you do not believe that He is not God, then you must say, what is your idea of God? If you do not know what is the idea of God, then you must accept from me. And how can you deny that Krishna is not God? First of all, you have to know what is God. God means the Supreme. That is the dictionary word. Supreme Being. So Krishna is the Supreme Being. Krishna is the Supreme Being. You just see Supreme. Here we see a rich man, he enjoys, and his assistants, his managers, his secretaries, they work. They bring money from business, from factory, and the proprietor enjoys. It's a good example. Similarly, here is God. He is in the enjoying spirit. He is not going to the office to manage his factory. No, he doesn't go. He simply enjoys. That is the injunction of the Veda. Natasya karjam karanancha, the definition of God. What is God? What is God? The idea is given in the Vedas, Upanishad. Natasya karjam, first thing is that he has nothing to do personally. That is first qualification of God. If he has to do something personally, then he is not God. Natasya karjam karanancha vidyate, natasya sama adhikascha drishyate. Nobody can be equal to him or greater than him. This is definition of God. Any subject matter. Suppose opulence, riches. So nobody can be richer than God. Or nobody can be equal with God. This is greatness. God is great. How He is great? That is defined particularly. He is great because nobody equally rich with Him. Nobody is richer than Him. That is God. Everybody is poorer than Him. Therefore, natasya sama. Sama means equal. And adhika means greater. How God can be great? If somebody is greater than Him, how God can be? God is great. If somebody is equal to Him, then how is great? Just see how the definition is given perfectly. Natasya karjam karanancha vidyate. He has nothing to do because He is great. Why he should work? All the subordinates will work. We are all subordinate. Therefore we shall work for God. But we have made our formula that God shall work for me. God give us our daily bread. We have nothing to do. Simply give us our bread. What is this? But the Vaishnava idea is that without giving bread to God, God will die. Jasodama is thinking, if I do not give Krishna to eat something nice, Krishna will become lean and thin. That is love of Godhead. How to serve Krishna, how to serve God. Sivanmukhi. That is real religion. When we are not to take service from God, but we are ready to give service to God. That is real religion. Savai pumsang paro dharma, jato bhaktir adhokkhati. Alokhaje. God is beyond our senses. Therefore he is Alokhaje. So that type of religion which teaches the followers how to serve God, how to love God, that is perfect religion. It doesn't matter whether it is Christian religion or Hindu religion, no. If the followers are trained up how to love God, how to serve God, that is perfect. That is being taught here. In this Krishna consciousness movement, there is no such teaching to ask from God. No. To give everything to God. That is Krishna consciousness. That is required. So, Yudhishthira Maharaj is a devotee. Therefore, although he was the powerful emperor, still he is now sacrificing his life for the service of the Lord. This is human civilization. At least at a certain point of your life, you must sacrifice. If you haven't got anything, money, then you can sacrifice your life. Pranai rathai dhiya vacha etavat janma safallam dehinam ihodeshu. This human form of life can be perfected. How? How it can be perfected? Pranai rathai dhiya vacha. Prana means life. Artha means riches. Pranai artha. Dhiya. Dhiya means intelligence. And bacha. Bacha means words. So we have got four things. We have got our life, and everybody has got some riches, either 1 pound or 1 million pound. Everybody has got something. This is called artha, prana, artha, and everyone has got intelligence. And everyone has got the power to speak. So we have to engage all these four things. Either 4 or 3 or 2, at least 1, we must engage. Prani rathidya sreya charanam sada. This is the principle of religion or perfection of life. Itavat janma, then our life will be. There are many other slokas in Bhagavatam. Atha pungvi dija srestha varnasrama vibhagasa sanusthitasa dharmasya samsiddhi haritosana. This varnasrama dharma we have already explained. So, any civilized man must be within this category of varnasrama dharma. Otherwise, he is animal. Unless you accept some institution of making progress in spiritual life, you are animal. That is the difference between animal and man. Man has got some institution, some social structure, religious structure, political structure. Otherwise, what is the difference between animal? The animal, they haven't got any president or senate house or parliament or church. That is the difference. So, this varnasrama dharma means one has to accept these principles of varnasrama dharma and act accordingly. A Brahmin should act according to Brahmin principles. Sattva, sama, dhamma, titikha. The Kshatriya should act accordingly. The Vaishya should act accordingly. The same example as we have given many times, that I have got my head department, arms department, belly department, and leg department. To keep the body fit, everyone should act very nicely. Brain should work nicely, arm must be strong, belly must be fit to digest foodstuff, a leg must work. Similarly, these things, the varnasrama dharma is necessary. It is not a convention. It is not a convention that the Hindus or the Indians, there are only Brahmins. No. Here are also Brahmins. Because it is creation of God. God's creation must be there. So now, this Krishna consciousness movement is speaking of who are the Brahmins. They are mixed up. So long, there was no picking up of the Brahmins. Now, by this movement, Krishna consciousness movement, we are picking up the Brahmins because there is need of Brahmins at this. Because brain is not there. Their brain, Brahmin means the brain. They must have knowledge. That is Brahmin. Brahmin in India, the Brahmins are called Pandit, also, although nowadays his full number marked. So but it is the title of the Brahmin to become Pandit. Pandit. He must know everything. Sattva Jnanam Vijnanam Astikam Brahma Karma Svabhava. He must be a very wise man. Jnanam Vijnanam, practical application, Vijnanam. Jnanam Vijnanam Astikam, and not Nastik, not atheist. Jnanam Vijnanam means one must know what is God. That is Jnana. And Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. Brahmana means one has already known God. Or Brahma Vastu. Brahmeti Paramatmeti. Bhagavan iti Sabha. That is Brahman. Therefore people should go to Brahman. Tad vijnanartham sagurumeva vigachet. Without becoming a Brahmana, one cannot become Guru. Because if he does not know Brahma, Paramatma, Bhagavan, what kind of Brahman he is and what kind of Guru he is. Therefore, one must know the ultimate truth. Bhagavan, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan. Not silent simply by understanding Brahma or Paramatma. But he must know what is Bhagavan. Krishna Su Bhagavan Sam. Bhagavan is Krishna. That is the verdict of the Vedas. Krishna Su Bhagavan Sam. So, a Brahmana, even the good qualification, but if he does not know Krishna, then he cannot become Guru. That is the injunction. Short karma nipuna vipra. Vipra means Brahman. Nipuna means very expert. What? The short karma. Brahmana's business is 6. Pathan, jajan, dana, pratigra. A Brahman must be learned. And he must make others learned. That I am learned man, I don't care for others. No. He must teach others to become Brahman. Pathan. Jajan. He must worship God and he must teach others also how to worship God. Jajan. Dana pratigraha. Brahmana's business is not to do any trade or professional. He takes charity. Pratigraha. But dana. Therefore in India it is said, if a Brahman gets 1 lakh of rupees, still he is a beggar. Why? Because he does not keep it. If he gets 1 lakh of rupees now, next moment he will spend it for Krishna. Dana pratigya. So, even though one is expert, pathan, jajan, dana pratigya, avaishnava guru rasasya, satkarma nipuna vipra, mantra tantra visharad. He is expert in reciting all the mantras, Vedic mantras. He knows everything. But he is not a Vaishnava. You'll find nowadays impersonalist, voidists, so many Brahmanas. They have no idea what is God, who is God. That is called Avaishnava. Vaishnava knows what is Vishnu, what is God. But Avaishnava, non-Vaishnava, they do not know. So this is the formula that even one Brahman is expert in all knowledge, but he does not know who is God. Guru na sasya. He cannot become Guru. This is the stricture. Sad Vaishnava sapacho Guru. But a sapacha means dog eaters. They are considered to be the lowest of the mankind, dog eaters. There are different types of eaters. Cow eaters, goat eaters, and camel eaters, these eaters, that eaters. There are so many. Out of that eaters, one who eats the dog, he is considered the lowest. So, even a person coming from the family of dog eaters, If he knows who is God, he can be Guru. This is the injunction of the Shastra. One who knows God, he cannot remain dog eaters. But sometimes he comes from there. But Shastra says, yes, when he has learned the science of God, then he can be accepted as Guru. That is the confirmation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kiva Vipra Kiva Sudra Nashikane Noy Jai Krishna Tattva Sei Guru Hoy. Who can become Guru? Anyone who knows the science of Krishna, he can become Guru. That is the injunction. Jai, it doesn't matter. Kiva Vipra Kiva Sudra Nashikane. He may be a Brahman, he may be a Sudra, he may be a sannyasi, he may be a grihastha. It doesn't matter. He may be European, he may be American, he may be Indian. It doesn't matter. If he knows the science, Jai Krishna Tattva Vitta, say Guru. So it is not limited under certain country, certain atmosphere, or certain population. Krishna consciousness is open for everyone. So, therefore, our request is that these Europeans and Americans who have taken to Krishna consciousness just become perfect in the understanding of the science and become Guru and deliver the whole world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Amrita Kishori. Thank you. Excellent, smoothless, seamless channeling of Srila Prabhupada's grace. Okay, dear devotees, time to reflect. Janitai Prabhu, would you like to reflect? How is it? No, okay. Nityananda Chandra Prabhu?
Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada was talking about the Varnas, how they're not birth-based. So yesterday I was speaking with Sri Prabhupada, and he was mentioning how Rishabdev had 100 sons with his wife Jayanti, and 9 of those sons we are hearing from now, the Navayogendras, they're Paramahamsas. Then 81 of those sons were Brahmanas, and another 10 of those sons were Kshatriyas, including the great King Bharat. And so the whole idea of caste by birth is just defeated with this family alone. But that's one of the number one things that people, if they learn about anything Vedic or Hindu, if you go to high school or college, first thing they'll teach you is, oh, they got this crazy caste system, and they worship cows, and they had sati. They usually learn like just all kinds of strange things. But number one thing is like a caste system, and that's Sri Prahlad also mentioned that the whole caste system, it wasn't an India thing, it was all around the world. The whole who you are is based on your birth. That was all around the world. But you find even in Manu Samhita, it says it's by character, not by birth. Another point that I like from the lecture is Prabhupada speaking about if you don't know who is God, if you can't present a better concept of God, then you need to accept the concept that we have. And it just reminded me of like in Japanese anime, you have like one character and he has like all these powers, but then here comes another character and he's got way more powers, he's more powered up, he's got this, he's got that, he's got this. And then and so we got to see who's the most powered up and who's got the most complete conception, you know. And also Prabhupada said praner arter diya vachaha. These are different ways we serve with our life, we serve with our intelligence, we serve with our praner arter, we serve with our wealth, and we serve with our words. And previously I was looking at this verse and I was thinking that we have people who do that support. How do you support those who support the temple? And I think for each of those, you just like Krishna reciprocates differently depending on the level of the reciprocation of the devotee. If you're dealing with like donor care, then okay, that's someone who's giving their wealth. But what if someone's giving their life? Then we shouldn't just like make sure we take care of the one who's giving their wealth and like not really take care of the one who's giving their life. So we should, these are kind of different levels of how someone can support. And if say you have somebody who's living in a temple, they're a brahmachari, then we have to make sure that they're well taken care of. If they're transitioning to grihasta, that we have systems in place to care for them nicely. I think the Mormons, they do that. They have you join the ashram for 2 years, and you do preaching service. It's like required for any like young man. I don't know if it's young women, but I know young men. They're required 2 years of missionary service. But then after they're done. There's like the wife is there, the career is there, the income is there. Everything's all like ready. So those are some ideas. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Everything is there. Sindhu Radha.
Good morning, Krishna. Let me get to my notes one second. So I have a question about the Vana Prashta. That comes before, so it is. So that comes before sannyas, and I'm just confused what that is. If somebody can explain, and also I think it's, I guess, kind of crazy to think that when you do switch over to become a sannyasi, when you aren't to go visit your family, you are to be like a guest there. I just feel like that would be so challenging to do that. So, but yeah, if anybody could explain what, the Vanaprastha. Thank you.
I see Bhima Prabhu unmuted.
Krishna Daya, I think, is saying something. Let Scripture, Sadhu, and Shastra speak through him first, and then you'll hear from Maya directly.
No, Prabhu, please go ahead. I just typed the name. That's it. Please go ahead.
Do you want it, Prabhu? Could you give us the breakdown? Vana Prasta. What does that mean? Vana Prasta. What does it mean?
So Prastha means the place to stay, and Vana means the forest. So ideally, at the third stage of life, third quarter of the life, so we are supposed to retire to forest. So
my reflection on that, based on being brought up from college in the movement with Radhanath Maharaj, who is a true sannyasi. Is there some noise in the back?
Yeah, it's me. It's Darshan.
Oh, okay, we'll pick it up. We'll pick it up later from the forest. Now we're going into a different forest.
Srila Muralidhar ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can obtain pure devotional service. I bow down to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him, ecstatic flame emanates. By him, ignorance is destroyed. Vedic scriptures sing of his hair. Spiritual master, ocean of mercy, friend of the poor and the Lord and master of the devotees. O master, have merciful unto us. Give us the shade of the lotus feet. May your fame be spread all over the two worlds. We take shelter at you. Prabhupada ki jai.
Temple Room ki jai. Jai Jai and Prabhu Bhakti Devidasi ki jai. Hare Krishna, welcome to the Afterglow. Bhima Prabhu, the forest dweller. Are you a guest at your own house, Bhima Prabhu?
Yeah, we're all guests, right? We were all just visitors here. What was that, Hotel California? You know, we are all just visitors here of our own device, you know. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave, right? So, anyways, that's not true. That's what Vanapras is all about. Even if it isn't going to the forest, one comes to a point where more serious things are taking up our time, both for the man and the woman in a marriage. And that is, priority is spiritual life, not financial, business, house maintenance. In fact, the going to the forest is with the wife in the beginning, and going on pilgrimage is with the wife. And then you come to not view yourself, you get to that first stage, chapter 2, Bhagavad Gita, you're not this body. So you're not, I mean, First of all, your body's telling you you're not this body because you might feel like a spry 26-year-old, but your body's looking 60 something, or 70 something. So you learn at a certain point in time, you're like, geez, I'm in a machine and this machine is letting me down. And that's a huge realization, because then you're no longer hankering, desiring, the lust quells, because it's just nothing but tomfoolery. It's for the young, you know. And that's when you start concentrating on Krishna consciousness, or start thinking about what's really going on. I've memorized all these. I just recently started reading chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita one line at a time. Not like in the past, like boom, okay, let's move on to Leela, but just actually reading what it means to view others and yourself primarily as a spirit soul, and primarily as a servant, or someone who desires not this world anymore. And that's when sannyas comes in. A sannyas is basically after a long marriage and children and living the life, and then vanapras, calming down, reorienting oneself towards the externals of temple life, or preaching, wearing the robes. As Prabhupada said, Brahmin doesn't only learn, he also teaches. So that's a time when elders should be teaching others, including their own children, by example, of course. But then one becomes like exhausted with everything of the world. You come to a point where you're actually seeing the drop falling from the lotus leaf. You're there. It's in motion. The drop is soon to fall. It's you. You're soon to go. You better get serious. You better figure out what's going on and pray sincerely that you're about to go over the finish line. And when that finish line happens, hopefully you're moving up and onward. If not, then just up. So, these are natural occurrences to the soul. I shouldn't say these things because I haven't experienced any of these things. I still want the world, and I want everything at all times. But as far as what I heard and what I saw in Radhanath Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada and a lot of other great devotees, that Vanapras can be taken while you're still ensconced in Brooklyn or Manhattan, while you're still ensconced in a family. You can go to the forest every morning for hours on end, depending on your discipline, and immerse yourself in the Leela, and you don't have to go to Vrindavan, India. You can literally go into Krishna book and take the time to really imagine yourself in that scenery. That's Vanapras. And sannyas, of course, is there are many here among us, as the lyrics say, and all along the watchtower, Hendrix or Dylan. There are many here among us who feel that life is but a joke. So it's not so much a joke, it's a lesson, but it's done in humor if you allow Krishna to teach you that way. And that's true sannyas. You are no, as Queen Kunti says, you can't get to Krishna unless one is exhausted with the material world, exhausted with wealth, exhausted with prestige, exhausted with politics, exhausted with sex life. One cannot begin to chant Hare Krishna until you are done with that desire. Anyways, that's what I read. That's what I see in the devotees I just aforementioned. But one does not have to externally do these things. In fact, if you externally do these things, but internally you're still looking back at Babylon, you're going to turn into a pillar of salt, and a pillar of salt is white, which means you're going to wear white again. So, you have to do it internally first. Matajis can take sannyas, Prabhujinis can take sannyas. In fact, I've seen Prabhujinis get exhausted with this whole malarkey a lot quicker than a lot of Prabhus I've seen. So it's open for everyone to get to that point where we turn away from the world and turn solely towards Krishna and his service. Hare Krishna.
Can children take Vanaprastha? Prabhu.
There's the woods right outside their backyard, or go to the local park and run through the woods and sit in silence and listen to the crickets and the symphony at night among the owls and the crickets and the bullfrogs. That's what is so necessary for a child. They have to see the bigger life that's around them, and that wonder will never leave them about what's going on. How is it that these million creatures in the night, in the woods, are talking of another world? It's not all just brutality out there. There is this wondrous miracle world, that Krishna has created. He's in the flower. He's in the running river. He's in the wind in the trees. There's Thomas Merton once said, "There has never been a prayer spoken like the wind I hear in the pines above me." Okay, so these things are natural to the soul, and there's nothing more naturally closer to a soul than an innocent child, to the soul than an innocent child. So, practically speaking, a child, if brought up in nature and to learning to understand Mother Nature, soon inquires about the Father, because they have a mother, but they're like, "Mother, where is Father here?" And that's when the child learns to hanker after Krishna. Haribo.
Thank you, Bhima, Prabhu. Any other reflections on Vanaprastha, retirement in Krishna consciousness?
I don't want to. There's a lot in here, but I do want to say could be very misleading because His Grace always says he, and that's why. I mean, I know from talking with devotees that women can also, but hearing Prabhupada say he, yeah, just could be very confusing, I guess.
Yeah, Bhima Prabhu covered it nicely. But we have this devotee, she gives class, Urmila Devi. So that's Vanaprastha. Devi, Vanaprastha. There's so many walking Bhagavatas who are Vanaprasthas who.
Every Prabhujini who's sick of hearing her husband's excuses for not becoming more spiritual in their lives has already taken Vanaprastha. I notice there's a natural inclination from women. As Prabhupada said, the women are my best devotees. Women make the best devotees. Not men, women make the best devotees. Why? Because they're naturally want to surrender to beauty, strength, wealth, and renunciation on an absolute form. It's a natural attraction. Whereas men are like doing battle with Krishna. At least that's from my point of view. I feel like I'm in battle and competition when I'm disobedient. Well, I have no chance of winning, but I still want to do the battle. But women, they just, oh my God, Krishna, flute in the night, looks like this, wide lotus eyes, wealthy, always there to support me emotionally. My God, it's a natural, physically and spiritually. So I think women sannyas, maybe they don't wear or maybe they culturally shouldn't wear the clothes or whatever, but everybody knows when they're talking to someone who's at least affectionate, or what is it? Ruchi has taste for Krishna. When a woman is up, I remember making garlands in the Boston Temple, and there were several Prabhujinis who were there on a regular basis without fail, even though they had full-time jobs in another apartment. They didn't live at the temple, but they were there every day making dozens, of garlands. And there was no prestige to it because no one knew who made which garland. And then the next day, their work was not tossed, but was given out in prasad or just sitting in some basket, near the temple door. And, that's a natural, And of course, the men, work and give, and show up and drive and support the family and support these Prabhujinis. You know, it all works out nicely. Varnashram Dharma works out nicely as if Krishna is the center. So we have to be aware of like in almost every major literature, when we're talking about mankind, we say mankind, or man must. A woman should automatically include herself in that. I mean, we learn that as kids. That means everyone, but we have to, well, that's part of the patriarchy. But I mean, we have to, except we know that Prabhupada was talking about all of us. And of course, you know, a woman must not be, a sannyas must be alone at all times, so to speak, right? He doesn't need protection. Women, especially older, there needs to be some help there, you know. There needs to be some support, and that's why a woman is a woman's best friend. That's why, you know, if a woman wishes to take sannyas, she puts herself amongst very advanced women, not women, spirit souls who are also renounced. And then by virtue of association, if a if a if a if a Prabhujini is with a great soul and is serving that great soul, male or female, they're going to eventually light on fire themselves. They're going to burn right along with the person that they're serving, without a doubt. So the vernacular, the he, the she, the they, the them, is really of minor importance. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Bhima Kaviraj. Nityanand Chandra Prabhu, you wanted to speak? No?
I could just explaining Vanaprastha is like you start off as Ram with your gas tank completely full, and so then when the gas tank's about half full, that's Vanaprastha time. So you at time of Grihastha, you're digging your roots down deeper and deeper. So when there's half the life is over, then you have to start pulling the roots back up, get uprooted. So.
Thank you, Nityanand Chandra Prabhu. I'm 41. My gas tank, what is it? Half empty? I'm full of gas, Chinmay Radha says. Well, okay. Sage Sky, I know you're ready to chant Hare Krishna loudly, but let Narottam Nitai Prabhu speak very briefly. Narottam Nitai Prabhu?
Yeah, Dandavas. I just wanted to comment on this I've been in a class with devotees where like it's been said that men generally have like two layers to perfect. They have to get in touch with the divine feminine in themselves, and then also come back to the divine masculine. And then while women have like to basically master the divine feminine, like Srimati Radharani's mercy, and they're then become amazing devotees. So men have like a couple layers to kind of to conquer in Krishna consciousness. And then other thing I wanted to say was just um like in my family tradition, like we really emphasize like the pronunciation of the mantras and everything. Obviously we need to know the meanings too, but it's like that's like a stepping stone of like perfecting our sadhana, and that like helps us to like be able to um be steady and like a little bit somewhat satisfied in our Krishna consciousness, so that we can um you know do what we need to. Like it's not just it's how can I say, like I'm coming to the realization it's not just to be like a lazy devotee. We have to be like really like you know um how can I say, really fit in our devotional service, in the sense that very good with our discipline, at least from my ideal standpoint. So
Thank you, Narottam Nitai Prabhu. In the class we just heard, Srila Prabhupada said, sannyasi is working very hard day and night, spreading Krishna consciousness. So there's no room for laziness or craziness. Okay, Sage, Sky, Annabelle, and Isaiah, please. Yeah, we need to become childlike, simple, sincere, have a sense of wonder, Have to chant loudly.
And not be so full of gas.
Yeah, yeah. Sannyas, Vanapras doesn't mean being grouchy and tired of life. It's about being happy, satisfied, available to serve others. Who's that, Karen? Who's that? Who's that devotee? What's his name? Krishna Das?
What's his name? I don't know. I didn't name him. Who is it? I didn't give him a name. It's just a...
Initiate him.
Okay.
How about Krishna Das? Cool. All right, let's get loud.
Sky.
Good start. That's a good.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Thank you. Thank you for the demonstration of what Vanaprast in Krishna consciousness looks like. Sage Sky.
There was a old saying, Yogi Berra used to say it because there was a show, I can't remember, Adi knows this story, way back in the 40s, and this woman, the show would end when the woman would sing, and she was a hefty lady, a fat lady, and she would sing, and that would be the end of the show. This was an iconic show back then, and he would always say, "It's not over like a baseball game or anything. It's not over till the fat lady sings." So we can see that Bhagavatam class is never really over until we hear the children sing.
Yeah. Yeah. They're Vanaprastas, Isaiah, Annabelle, Sage, and Sky. They don't pay bills, right? They're always moving. They have this sense of wonder towards the world. Yeah, I think we got it all covered. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Happy Sunday to you all. Dance, chant loudly. Come again tomorrow. Thank you for